This conference will now be recorded.
Consuming REST services.
Consuming REST services. Similarly, today I will discuss about a small topic, how to consume a SOAP API, and then leave for this week. Okay, we'll join on the Monday. Okay, so we'll discuss about how to consume a SOAP API. The same concept, how we consume a REST application, same concept, how to consume a SOAP application as well. Okay, similar concept. The application name is product service SOAP. Previously, application name is product service REST, right? What we have done there, from the client application, I am trying to consume that REST application. Now I'm trying to consume a SOAP application. Okay. Now we have two operations in that. Get all products is one. Get product by name. Based on the input parameter, it will execute some logic and return some value. Here also it will return some value. Now this SOAP application is exposed via some SOAP API. That means SOAP web service. It's a SOAP API, right? Now, on which this application is listening at, assume that it is deployed on a Tomcat server. It is deployed on a Tomcat server, and the previous REST application is deployed on which server? Same Tomcat only, I guess. Yes, is it? Right. Now, what is the port number it is listening at?
A0A1.
No. What is the port number my REST application was listening at in the Tomcat?
7070.
7070. Now assume that I change the port number to 6060. The base path of this application is /SOAP. /SOAP. Give me a second. Now, hello, is it audible?
Yes,
Hello, is it audible?
Yeah, it's audible.
yes,
Sorry, I mean, as I said, right, there was some network lag in this. Yeah, okay, where I stopped. So 6060 is the port number where my Tomcat is listening at, right? And whenever any SOAP application is deployed on a server, one file will get generated. That means SOAP API. What is that file which describes about that SOAP application?
The WSDL file.
Yeah, what is that? WSDL, web service description language. Description language, right? What is the input and output format of any SOAP application?
XML.
Basically, it is an XML file, right? It's an XML format, either input or it should be output. It will be an XML format, right? Now, based on the code, what is that WSDL contains? Port name, port number, service number, and address of that WSDL, and what are the operations, the signatures of get all products, get product by name, signatures, everything will be in XML tags. Based on the code generated here from the client application, we are going to trying to consume the third party application, right? Forget about a mule. How you will consume a SOAP applications normally? How you will consume any SOAP APIs? Yeah, how will consume a SOAP API? By using a SOAP UI, can I do that? I already given that installer to you in the folder which I have given to you. That means in the MuleSoft 4.x folder. Here you can see in that we can see here. Sorry, in the softwares, I guess. Where is this SOAP UI? Have I given in this in your folders? Can you please cross check once? In the MuleSoft 4.x folder, did I give SOAP UI? The installer? Can you please cross check?
It's there, Sujit.
It is there, right?
Yeah, it's there.
How come it is missing here? Strange. Okay, let it be. So once you install by using that SOAP UI, this is the screen, right? Now we need to create a SOAP application and give the WSDL location. Where is the WSDL? Let me type for the WSDL. So where is the WSDL location? This is the WSDL location. We're listening on 6060 port, and SOAP is the /SOAP is the base path, and products.WSDL. That means products is the WSDL file name. So a third party application should up and running to get that WSDL file. So let me start that service. Previously, to start that product service REST application, we run this batch file, correct? To run this SOAP application, we are running this batch file now. Let me open that batch file. Yeah, what is that command? It's a Java command executing a jar file, product service soap.jar, right? And what is the port? 6060 is the port, and context part is SOAP. Now let me execute this command. So everyone practice the REST application, REST API. Yes, no.
Weekend.
Pardon?
Weekend.
Weekend. Waiting for the weekend. Huh? Is it, friend? Waiting for the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. What about others? Everyone are waiting for the weekend? Yesterday there was no session. We can utilize that time, right? As well. I know you guys are piled up with your office works and all, some other works as well, but spend at least half an hour time on a daily basis. On a weekend, suddenly you will be getting some other work. For 1 week, if we get some other work, gone. Again, you need to wait for another week. There you will be getting a 2 weeks data to work on. So at least if you spend half an hour on a daily basis, it will reduce the load on the weekends. You can enjoy on the weekends. Okay, I don't want to tell all this. You know how to manage your life, work-life balance. That's fine. Right now you can see my SOAP application is running and started on which port? Still it is running. Yeah, it is started on which port? What is the port number? 6060 is the port number, right? And what is the application? Product service SOAP application got started, right? Once it started, now you give this location, automatically WSDL is created. What is this format? What is this format? Entire format? WSDL definitions. What is this format? Is it an XML format? Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, please respond. Please unmute your mics and respond. I'm keep on asking questions. No one is responding. Please unmute your mic and respond, please. Is it audible? First of all.
Yes, Sujit. Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. Only Prem is able to answer me all my questions. No one else. Can you please respond, guys? Yes. So what is this format? It's an
Excellent.
XML format.
XML format, right? So are you able to see some operations here? Get all products is one operation, add products, get product by name. So these are all the operation definitions, right? And you can see service name, port number and port name, address of this location, right? It's a description of your SOAP application. Based on this file, we can consume. That means what? Just we need to give the visitor location. Automatically, it will fetch all the details from that. By using a SOAP UI, it is very easy to consume. So I'm just giving a visitor location, right? And creating a sample request. What are these are the operations I have. First, let me go with the get product by name. Just double click on this request. So input and output, either anything will be in which format in SOAP applications?
XML.
Yeah, XML format. Now I'm giving the input. That means whatever the body we are sending as an input request, that should be wrapped up into SOAP envelope. You don't need to do all this. Just give the visitor location. Automatically it will create the request. And if we click on a submit request, automatically it will submit that input request to that application. Yeah, now we can see this is the input which I want to give. Get product by name request, which is wrapped up under a SOAP body envelope, right? Now, if I click on submit request, automatically, okay, did I send any name attribute? Let me hardcode this value and send HP. Will I be getting HP product details from that application? Yes, only HP products. If I go with the get all products and submit the request, do I need to give any input to this? Do I need to give any input?
No.
No, yes, we need to submit this request. Of course, we don't want to send that input parameter, right? But I need to submit this request. Based on that, it will get all the product details from that application. See, normally by using a SOAP UI, by you sending this request, we can consume the operations present in it. What my SOAP UI has done, I want to do by using my Mule application. So let me import. It's very easy. Let me import the project. 01, sorry, 02 consuming SOAP start project. Yeah, I just imported a SOAP start project. Let me create one XML file in that. New configuration XML file. So here I'm going to show one operation, get product by name. For get all products, you need to work on. How many of you are working on 7.8 EV Point Studio version?
I'm using 7.8, Sujit. I downloaded it from the site.
Okay, is anyone here who is working on 7.5? Why I'm asking this question? Why I'm asking this question? In this SOAP application, there is one module we are going to use. That module will differ from 7.1 to 7.5, sorry, 7.5 to 7.8. In 7.8, it's very easy. Okay, what is that small point which is 1 second, which is differing from 1 to 1? That means 7.5 to 7.8. We'll discuss now. Right? At the same time, you also need to test. I'm showing in a 7.5. You need to test in your 7.8. Who are working on a 7.8? Okay. What is that? We'll see. Let me create first XML file. Yeah. So assume my client is giving some request in this way. 8081 slash SOAP is the path, and is passing some query parameter. Is passing some query parameter, right? Sorry guys. So he is passing some query parameter with a key product name and value is HP. Now, in order to listen to this request, what is the first component I need to configure? Yeah, in order to listen to this HTTP request, what is the component I need to configure? HTTP
HTTP listener.
listener, right? Let me configure that connector first. 8081. What is the path?
No, so
SOAP is the path. SOAP is the path. Next. Okay, now I want to consume a SOAP API, right? So for consuming a REST application, what is the connector we used? In order to consume a
request.
REST, yeah, we use the request connector, correct? Now, in order to consume a SOAP application, there is one module called Web Service Consumer. So if you are using my predefined project, I might have given already the Web Service Consumer module. Okay, it will be released with the versions. Of course, any module in Mail will be released with the versions. Always take the latest version. At that point of time, when I'm designing this course, what is the version of that Web Service Consumer that was taken? If you don't want that, right click on that, remove the module, and you can add a new module from Add Module section. Just check, is there any Web Service Consumer module? Yeah, let me drag and drop this Web Service Consumer module. I'm just taking 1.5.8. Whenever you're using any point studio version, in that version, what is the Web Service Consumer module version is given, please cross check once. Okay, I am using 1.5.8 version of Web Service Consumer. Okay, why I am specifically telling in this concept the versions, there is a difference. Okay, that difference you need to identify. So under this Web Service Consumer module, how many connectors? One connector I have, that is a consume connector. This consume connector is used in order to consume the SOAP application. Let me drag and drop this consume connector. First I want to consume which application, which operation I want to consume. Get product by name. I'm just giving the name of the flow. So every connector will have some connector configuration. Yeah, so let me configure this. Click on a plus sign. So it is asking for the WSDL location. Just give the WSDL location. Automatically, what it will do? Automatically, it will, once you give this location, automatically it will fetch what are the service, port, and address. If you have multiple services under the WSDL, you can select from the dropdown. Similarly, port and address also. You don't need to write anything. Mine is 16 GB of RAM, right? So based on the RAM size also, based on your internet connection, again it will be fetched. So my internet connection is good and my RAM size is also good. That's why it is fetching immediately. Maybe in your case, if you are using 8 GB of RAM size, or else if your internet speed is low, then may not able to fetch. At that point of time, there is an option called force a refresh. You can click on a refresh, it will be fetched again. Right? Still, if it is not fetched, you can write it manually also. Both are fine. Right? Now, once it is fetched, it is acting as a global element. That global element can I use across the project? That means global configuration. It is acting as a global configuration now. Can I use that configuration across the project? Yes, right?
Yes.
And what are the operation I want to perform? Operations also will be fetched. Now I want to go with a get product by name. Save it. Okay. Now, how these two flows will be related? By using a flow
Flow
reference. I am trying to fetch this get product by name. Okay, get product by name. Save it. Can I deploy this application? Is there anything else to do?
Logger.
Huh? What will be the
Logger.
Okay, logger, fine. It's up to you whether you want to write logger or not. What is the event structure before this consume connector?
Transform message. Transfer message.
Why we require a transform message? or else tell me what is the input event to this consume connector. As of now, once I give a request, the listener will listen for this request. Once it will listen, then
XML.
converting into event. What is the event structure right now? I have attributes in that event, but do I have any body? No. Right? Do I have any variable? No. What is the event structure before the consume connector? Only the attributes. But my consume connector is consuming a SOAP application which is expecting input parameter dynamically from the attributes. So do I need to fetch that attribute value from query parameter, and then I need to pass that input in which format?
XML format.
In the XML format. How can I convert? How can I extract that attributes, and how can I convert that into XML format? Then how can I give that XML format as an input to the consume connector? That is the challenge. Two ways we can do. Simply use a transformer before the consume connector and try to extract the query parameters and pass that body as an XML to the consume connector. That is the one that we will do after discussing about transformers, right? Another way is, can I create one XML template? Yeah, I have created one XML template. Here you see under the resources, I created this one. What here? What I have? What is this? Get product by name request. This is the request which is expecting by my client. That means my third party application. This is the tags. These are the tags. Get product by name request. And is it expecting a name attribute? Yes. But what is the value? Do I need to hardcode that value? No. I need to get that value dynamically from the client's request. So how to get that value? What is the syntax?
Attribute.query parameters.
Hash and square bracket represents what? Data view language, right? My mule runtime will understand, once you deploy, my mule runtime will understand hash and square bracket as a data view expression, and whatever the code you have written inside that, it will be treated as a data view. So now tell me, data view expression, which data expression you need to write in order to extract the query params? Yeah, someone told me right now. Attributes dot
Query params.
query params dot product name. Save it. Okay, now I created XML template. Once you deploy, here in the name attribute, we will be getting a value, either a HP or a Mac, whatever it is. And this XML template, how it will be passed as an input to the consume connector? Someone should be there to read that template in XML language. Someone should be there to parse the template. Yes. So there is some component called parse template before this consume connector. Okay, in that parse template, just give the location where the template is present. If it is there in your build path, directly give the name. Get products by name dot XML. Definitely we need to give the extension, because under the resources I may create one more file with the same name, but it may be JSON file also, right? Any other file. So we need to give the extension which file you are pointing to. Now let me deploy this application. What is the ultimate output you are going to get from this application? Keep in your mind, your application is a REST application. Of course, you are consuming a SOAP application. What will be the response? Yeah, what will be the response? What will be the response? What is the format?
It will be JSON, right?
Exactly, correct, very good. It will be JSON object. JSON object contains what? Key and a value, correct? JSON object contains key and a value. What is the key by default? See, in any JSON object, by default key will be the body. Value will be whatever the value this consume connector is giving, that will becomes a value in that JSON object, right? So what is the output format of this consume connector? That means the third party application is giving in which format? Yes, XML format, right? That will be acting as a value in the JSON object. Let me show you one second with the request. This is a small point everyone should understand. Don't get confused here. Still application is running. See, by seeing this error itself, I can understand. Server is still it's not started. I mean, there is no server to listen to this request. So now it is started. Can I give a request now? What is the output you are able to see? One second. What is the output you are able to see? What is the format? No. XML will
Just-
start with the syntax. It's a JSON object. This is the key. And this is the value. What is the value? What is the format of the value? Now it is a, yeah. What is the format of this value? Get product by name response under some tag.
That's
XML
XML.
tag. That is an XML. This value we are getting from consume connector. Now my requirement is I want to extract only this value and I want to display back to the client. So what I can use after this consume connector? Transformer. What will be the input for this transformer right now? It's a JSON object. From that JSON object, I'm trying to extract a value. How can we extract any value, or how can we access a value? By using a key, right? Now, what is the ultimate output I want? I want the output in a XML format. So what I want, from where I can get that value? From the payload, whatever the payload we are getting in that JSON. From that payload, body is a key. In that body, value. What is the value? Remove this namespace and all. We'll discuss in a transformer concept. Get product by name response is the root tag. Get product by name response is the root tag. If you have multiple, you can use the other as well, right? Right now, get product by name response is the root tag. This is the body. Entire thing is a body. From products is a body, right? That body I'm trying to extract it. Let me save this. Now tell me, what will be the output format if I give a request once it is deployed? Yeah. Someone told it's an XML format only, right? That's what I have done from the transformer. Ultimately, at the end of the flow, in the payload, XML will be the output. Now you can see.
Yep.
Now you can see the body. I got a body. Yes or no?
Yes.
HP product details. Yes. I got product details by using a get product by name. Now I want to consume get all products. Will you try or should I show? What's your option? Will you try or you want me to show that? And no one is responding. Tell me something, either yes or no, so that I can proceed.
You sure Sujit will help you.
I expected the same. Okay, let me use a consume connector. One more connector. Okay, at least guide me what to do. I will do it, but guide me. Yeah, get all products. Now in this consume connector, can I use same configuration which I used earlier? Web service consumer configuration. Yes. And I'm going with the get all products. Now here also, do I require a parse template? That means, do I require a template? Yes or no?
No, right? Because you don't have any input going in.
But do I need to submit a request? At least
Yeah, you have to submit a request. Yes.
I need to send this request in order to get all of, how otherwise my runtime will understand we need to get all products. We need to send that, right? Just referring to flow by using a flow reference, referring to get all products, it doesn't understand. So it will ask for the request. What type of request? So this is the change. If you are using a 7.8 version and if you are using a latest version of see, every version they change. Okay, they were treated as a bug and they fix that bug. What is that bug? Do we really require giving an input for get all products? Actually, no, as per the design, right? In this version, 1.5.8 version of web service consumer, they made as a mandatory. If you, even though if you're not passing any input argument, definitely we need to give XML tag in order to send the request. In other versions of a web service consumer, by default, if you're not passing any input, by default it will take a get all products. Okay, no need to write any template. That's what the change I want you to observe. Right now I'm not using a parse template. Okay, let me use a transform message to convert into some other format, XML format. As usual, let me use a transform message. See, it is not fetching any details. Now it is fetching get all products. Right now what I need to do, payload dot body dot get all products. Just commenting this one, right? Save it. Now by using a flow reference, I am referencing to get all products. Save it. Let me deploy. Okay, it's already deployed. Now once I send a request, will I get all the product details or not? It, okay, it is, this is not the one. Still it is not deployed. Now it is deployed.
You have to change the URL.
So request timeout. Let me restart it. Yeah, I didn't get answer. Will I get a product details or not?
Sure.
Unexpected error while consuming a web service. What is that
In the
error?
output application,
Attack
you
get
did
all
not change
product
from
details.
Java to
Pardon?
in the output application tag, you did not
Oh, is
convert
it?
it to XM.
No. Okay. Maybe this is the one I did mistake, but it is not getting. It is not able to consume the operation itself. First of all, that is what the error here. It is not able to consume the get all products. The reason is we need to give a template. In this version, it is expecting a template. Let me create a template. So I'm just duplicating this get product by name so that it will be easy to change the tag, root tag. Do I require a name attribute? No. Delete it. Exactly what is the operation name over there in the WSDL? I need to write that. Save it now. Now, do I need to use a parse template to read that? Yes, right? Parse template and give the location of it. Now I saved with this template. Okay, once it is deployed, let me give a request. Now, will I get the details? Now am I getting the details or not? See, all the product details I'm getting. Once I use a parse template, that means in this version, the consume character is expecting some input in XML tags. Understood? Whether you pass a input parameter or not passing input parameter secondary, but it is expecting some input tag. Okay. That is what I want you to observe in your versions. Without using a parse template, try to execute it, whether it is working or not, just check. If it is not working, then use a parse template by creating a template in the resources. Got it? And based on the input request, I want that our request should route to the get all products or get product by name. What is the operator I can use? What is the connector I can use?
Switch connector, right?
Switch case is the one inside we literally use, but what is the connector name, which is having that logic? What is the router name? It's a choice router.
Sure.
Definitely I can understand. I'm not practiced on choice. I mean REST application. Yeah. Yeah, it's a choice router. So for this weekend, will you please try it on that? What you used in REST application? I already used the get all products and get product by name. Can you please do it for a choice router at least? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I will stop here.